Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because your DNA is for sale. There's nothing you can do about it. Please like, subscribe, comment in the video, share the video. Today we have a sponsor, Patriot Gold, and I will cover them a little later. But first things first, guys. The largest company that does DNA analysis in the world is a company called 23andMe. 23andMe has a CEO, Ann Wojcicki, and she's the ex-wife of a Google founder. And the company's been well-funded, and you've seen her a lot in the news, and it's been around for 10 years. Right now, it's estimated that 15 million people have used 23andMe. 15 million. Now, the problem with this is that they're on the verge of bankruptcy right now. They have advertised and promised from its inception that they would never, ever, ever sell your information. And that's just not true. Now, here is the wild part of this. In their terms and conditions, think about this. Please understand, if there is a sale, if there is a bankruptcy, if there is a merger, if there is a liquidation, your information could be sold. You can sit there and go, who cares, Dan? It's genetic data. Please understand this. Your social security number, your personal finances, that's worth this much money. Your DNA and your personal information, your information about your DNA, your body, your makeup, that's worth a fortune. It's worth an absolute fortune, guys, to everybody. They had a huge hacking last year where 6.9 million customers were stolen. You know, and people are thinking, oh, they stole their identities and their emails. No, they stole their DNA, guys. They stole everything. The problem with this is that this on the black market is incredibly valuable. Now, for those of you that have been around this channel a while, before I did this, I ran medical conferences. I am not a doctor. I am a marketer, and I would put people together. That was my job. That, you know, I would introduce startups to money. I would get people that needed FDA approval to people that could help them with that. I would have people that needed innovation, get manufacturing, sales, whatever they needed. Okay? There were two weird groups of people that were incredibly like, wow, just meet that guy? He's nuts, okay? One of them were the kookaburra startups that were out there that were, you know, I have a cure for cancer. I can cure Parkinson's in an afternoon. You know, these nuts. All I need is to be on your stage, Dan, and meet the investors. No, okay? Because everything that I did, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not somebody that can vet these people. I would have doctors, and I would have people that are in the know that would vet these people to make sure that they were all legit. And, you know, again, kookaburras, number one. The second were the biotech companies that wanted to put together your personal DNA. These people were just weird. Now, I met a lot of startups that did this, and when I say a lot, I tried to figure out all the companies, and I didn't want to go find out if they were still open or not, what the status was, but I think it was 8 or 9 of these companies that approached me to participate in one of my events. And the thing about this was they were weird dudes. They all were men, and they all were like, yeah, you know what we can do? If we could collect this data, Dan, you know the possibilities? No, nutcase. It's almost like, you're the guy from Silence of the Lambs, you know? Is she a big fat woman? You know, anyways. That weirdness, that's the vibe I got from these psychos. But some of them even wanted to do a free DNA test where you could connect with family members. Well, how can you make money if it's free? Because we're selling your data. We're selling your personal data. And you can sit there and say, what's the big deal? The big deal is your genetic makeup. Some people don't want to know certain things. Some people don't want to know that their life expectancy is 25 years shorter than it should be so they can enjoy their lives. Some people are reckless, and if they were told that they were going to live to 100, well, I can stop that. I could do drinking and drugs, and I could put a kibosh to living to 100. It goes both ways. But as far as selling that data, as far as you having privacy of your medical information, everything is the most valuable thing. But it connects people. And then you get people, there's been some good with this. There's a thing called the Innocence Project. And the Innocence Project has helped release criminals that were falsely charged of crimes, to get them off because of DNA testing. So there is some good to this, don't get me wrong. But, there's been killers that have been caught because they used familial DNA testing and got people tricked into doing this, and then they caught them. Okay, there was just one a year or two ago. I forgot which psycho that one was. But the point of this is that 23andMe is going down for the count, guys. The likelihood of a bankruptcy is imminent. Now you can delete, here's the worst part. You're allowed to delete your information, but it doesn't mean that we're going to delete your DNA pattern or any of that stuff. Huh? So they have all your data. Read it. Read the articles below on this because, again, let's see who Aunt Joan was related to. I understand the value in this. You were adopted. You want to find out if there's any family members on this? I get it. That is solid gold. That is the way it is. But there's people out there that don't want to be found out there. There's people that don't want to have their information sold and put to the highest bidder. It's why there's a problem with biometric banking. Biometric banking is hey, let's do an eye scan Steve Austin to go out and get a bank account. No, Pasadena. No. Okay? So there's that. Your thumbprint, your handprint, things like that. That's all part of the deal. Okay? But this is just catastrophic. But I just was like, how can you sit there and say forever you're never going to have an issue? Well, they answered it. They answered it in their terms and conditions. I'm telling you, CEOs of companies should tattoo this on their back. Because, hey, look, there's our terms and conditions. If anything changes in the company, your data is not protected. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. I am at a very famous surfing spot right now called The Wedge. And I apologize for any wind or anything like that. But I had people say, wow, the tide's coming in. And it's just a beautiful, majestic spot. It's nice down here. There's no surfers down here. It's just you and me and a few fishermen. But just beautiful, okay? So, Newport Beach, the end of the peninsula, the other side is Corona del Mar that I've walked it 1,000 times with you guys. But just beautiful. Oh, this guy's gonna go out and body surf in this stuff. But do you see, guys, your data is not safe during this time. The Innocence Project, think about this. When people are falsely accused of a crime, because I start researching this, 2/3 of them are like, oh my gosh, that was the guy that did it, okay? And the other 20% of these people were snitches and informants that said, oh my gosh, this guy is the guy that robbed the bank and killed those two people. That is the way that they are turned in. Now, the problem is the majority of these people are black. You've got almost 66% of the people that are falsely accused of a crime that have been overturned were black people. And then you've got white people on the smaller end of the spectrum and then the other minorities. But again, there's some good in the world when you have things like this. Don't get me wrong, it's not for me, guys. It's not for me. I don't like the biometric banking. I don't like the lack of privacy on anything. I don't want that for anybody. But I don't want them selling your stuff and selling your soul to do this. So let me know what you guys think about this, and am I making a big deal out of this? Because I don't think so, guys. Because if you read the articles below, you're gonna go, you know what, this is crazy. These guys lied to us, and they did. The entire board of directors for 23andMe recently stepped down for one simple fact. They had no faith in the leadership in Ann. So you know what, we're going. And now this place, they won't get funding, you won't get continued money to operate, so they're gonna go down. The company at one point was worth $6 billion in value. And again, everybody thinks, hey, we're worth $6 billion. Watch, we're gonna be worth 60. No, cash out, guys. Get out. I've seen this. One thing I've seen a lot in people is, my house is worth $14 million. Oh my gosh, get rid of it. Why? What am I gonna do with $14 million? Okay, and then the house is worth $7. This one, 2 years ago, end house, right there. That monstrosity was listed at $36.5 million. No, it's not worth it, guys. It's not worth it at all. So let me know what you think about this. Would you do this? Have you done it? Do you feel like you're violated? Do you feel like you were taken advantage of now if they're going to sell your data to the highest bidder? What are they going to do with it? God only knows. Insurance companies, you know, let's face it. My girlfriend had cancer. My late girlfriend that passed away had cancer. She was very private about it because what I witnessed, and I saw this, I saw scoundrels that were like, you don't want to hire her, she's going to die. She's going to die. And I was appalled by these degenerates. Some of them are out of business just because they couldn't manage their business and didn't write 23 books like she did. Anyways, privacy is key to a lot of things in this world. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know what you think about this. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. You know, with next week's election, there is one winner that I can guarantee is going to be there, and that is precious metals. The number one investment class in 2024 is gold and silver. Nothing has performed that well. Think about this. Gold's at an all-time high. Silver's gone up 40% this year, and the sky's the limit. The best place to buy this is number one rated Patriot Gold Group. Call them today, 888-330-1431. Contact them. IRAs, 401ks, backed by precious metals. They sell all different types of metals. But again, number one rated for 8 years in a row with Consumer Affairs. Get a hold of Patriot Gold today. Every bank has said one thing, that gold is going to go up. Bank of America just said it's going to go well beyond $3,000 an ounce. You don't want to miss out on this. Contact them today. 888-330-1431. Let them know that I allegedly sent you to number one rated Patriot Gold Group. One thing that I want to remind you of is that you are a criminal. And in addition to all the other stuff we've talked about over the last week, think about this. The Federal Financial Crimes Bureau is going to make you report your small business to the federal government in the next 2 months. You have no choice for this. And the idea with this is that because of financial crimes, they want to know everybody involved with every single business. And since it's all small businesses that they're concerned about with 20 or less employees, they don't care about the revenue size. They don't care about anything other than getting your name and personal information, your address, driver's license number, everything. They're going to get it all from you. So this is ridiculous. Now, I want to tell you something. Stephen from the UK sends me stuff that is solid gold. One thing that happened in the UK, and they recently changed this, is that if you have a business in the UK, you are supposed to report all the officers of your corporation, your company. That sounds legit. The only problem with it is that people have used things like Darth Vader, Santa Claus, Richard Fitzwell, Hugh Reshkin. Okay, I mean, these are all dirty jokes that go on there. Anyways, you know, the point is that people have used fake names. You know, they've used Tony Blair. They've used all this stuff. It's funny because here's my officers of my company. Now you have to give identification for these people in the UK, and that's what they're doing here. And I want you guys to understand this. Well, why would somebody give a fake name? I ran medical conferences, and I also ran an association that was for the medical space that was designed to have mixers and be a lead source for my medical conference company. And when I ran the council, one thing that we would do is have mixers like sometimes 2 and 3 times on a Monday night throughout a month. And people would sign up, but then they would sign up under fake names. And one night, I was talking to my brother, and boom, 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 4 people signed up. And I started reading him these names, and that's Chris Benoit. He goes, Chris Benoit? And I said, Mike Awesome. Look at these guys' names. He goes, Chris Benoit is Chris Benoit. He's a guy that's dead. He's a wrestler. So some guy signed up his whole company using wrestling names. And I'm like, are you serious? Really? That's what that is? And the guy paid, you know, but then we called him the next morning and said, listen, you can't be wrestlers. I am Mike Awesome. okay? And he wasn't. And he was furious because I said, you gotta give us your name, because when we come in and we ask for ID, it doesn't say Mike Awesome on there, or Darth Vader, or Santa Claus, or Richard Fitzwell, or Hugh Reshkin, okay? And Hugh's middle name, the middle initial is G, so figure that one out. The point is that these are all fake names, but the UK did this and they cracked down on it. But here in the States, it's the Financial Crimes Bureau. So you're not going to be able to get away. They're going to do this. This is the Biden administration in all their glory, trying to crack down on small business owners. You don't have a difficult enough time trying to get business. You just can't give the name of the officers. You've got to sit there and give much more detail. Now here in California, for you to have a public company, you have to have one woman on the board of directors. I think you have to have someone gay or LGBTQ on your board of directors too here in California. I think I'm speculating on that last one. But the point is it gets kind of crazy and gets kind of like you and your buddy, hey, when they started Apple Computer, there was no woman on the board until later on. Oh, no, can't have that, okay? But your identity, we're gonna know it. So let me know what you think about that. I'm gonna finish this video with these last few stories. First one, think about what I'm about to say. State Farm, the insurance company, has just issued a mandate through its company that there can be no EV charging stations indoors, anywhere for any company offices. Garage, parking structures, carports, nothing. It's gotta be outside because of the fire risk. So what do you think they're gonna do to your house if your house burns down because you didn't put the EV cord in correctly? That's that. Next thing is, remember Elon Musk came up with that Tesla Roadster? It was a pretty cool looking car. I'll get a picture of that for you. The deposit was $50,000 for that car. 50 grand for that car. He started taking deposits in 2017. When he was recently asked about this, and Tesla, well, that's a low priority right now. Would it be a low priority if you spent $50,000 on a deposit for a vehicle that you've been waiting for 7 years? 7 years, been waiting for that car. And final thing, and that people have asked me a lot about, was the great story below about how a woman got a call from a debt collector and demanded to speak to her dad. Put him on the phone right now. And the dad's been dead for 11 years. How dare you try to duck us? He's dead. He's dead. Now, the statute of limitations varies from state to state and depending on the type of bill that it is. Now, if you have a judgment, it's 10 years, then they've got to reinstate the judgment. But that's if they have litigation already done. But the statute of limitations starts from your last payment. So generally it's 3 to 6 years in that range. They start calling for an 11-year-old debt for somebody that's dead. That is harassment at that point. Do not let people harass you for this stuff. For me, from having people that have passed away in my life, it is wild the stuff that we get in the mail. We have to watch my late girlfriend's credit report to make sure that there's not some scoundrel out there getting, credit cards in her name. My late girlfriend's dad died in early 2019, and he still gets mail at her house for stuff. Hey, listen, get this credit card. Contact him and about bills, things like that. The city, you'll like this, when Lisa sold her house, their parents' house, the city came in and said, hey, there's an old outstanding bill for water service that you need to pay. She was like, you're out of your mind. Number one, it was transferred into my name prior to that, and they were trying to collect that since he's been dead since 2019. Again, tell these people to pound sand. Have a nice day. Go take my DNA and go away. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And please, guys, onward and upward. I'll see you soon. The email address is hello@iallegedly.com. I'll see you soon.